Hi everyone, and welcome to our new series, Meet the Professor. At Elucido, we believe that you cannot trust the content unless you trust the creator. That is why this week we're going to be diving in a little bit deeper into some of the creators behind our courses and getting to know them a little bit more and their expertise in the relevant industries. And today we're starting off with none other than Professor Craig Blewett. Thanks, Craig, for agreeing to ask some questions. It's great to have you on. And I think the purpose of this is not for me to talk, but for me to ask you some questions and just to get to know you better and the knowledge that you have in these areas, and just to get to know also a little bit more about the courses that you have. So let's just get straight into it. Just to start, do you mind just giving us a little background about yourself and an overview of who is Craig Blewett?
Good question. I think I would have to say an academic, a researcher, but obviously more than that, a father, a husband, an adventurer, an ex-husband, and many things. But obviously in this context, I am an academic. I've been at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa for over 25 years. I'm a passionate researcher and a passionate educator in trying to teach people to learn in innovative and exciting ways. And so my two passions when it comes to academia is the confluence of technology and education. And obviously at the moment, this is such an important space to be in, and looking at innovative ways to engage people when it comes to both blended and online learning.
Thanks, Craig. You definitely have many years of experience in education, and I know these years of experience led you to create these two courses. You have Thesis Lab and Digital Pedagogies. Could you just go in a little bit more detail about your background in these two courses and what led you to create these two courses?
Yeah, at the moment, I've got two courses I'm really passionate about. The first is called the Active Digital Pedagogies course. And this is so vital because there is no greater need than at the moment to develop approaches to teaching and learning that are effective. We're very grounded in our old style approaches that we've had for many, many years. And so my background, firstly, as an academic, I've been teaching for many years, for over 25 years. But it's not just the teaching part that's important. It's the confluence of the teaching and the technology. And so my research and my PhD and all my subsequent work has been on trying to understand that space. And I developed a taxonomy of digital age pedagogies. It's an approach, an effective approach that allows teaching to happen in an activated way. And so the activated classroom teaching approach is a model that engages our students, that enables the lecturer, that enables the trainer, the teacher to change how they teach to a totally different level. And so the Activated Digital Pedagogies course is all about trying to bring that passion, trying to bring that approach to teachers. And then I've taken that and started to apply it to other areas, because obviously as an academic, I'm greatly involved in research and in supervising students. And the huge challenge you face when it comes to students is, as they try and navigate the complexities of research, is trying to help them get through that, but in a way that's not only interesting, but helps them understand and is effective in their learning. And all too often they get so lost, they find the text so boring and so dry, they find the approaches so disassociated with where they're at. And so the goal was to take these active digital pedagogies and build a course that would teach the basics of research, of developing a thesis in an exciting and engaging way.
Thanks, Craig. I mean, it's amazing to see the passion that you do have for these courses, and it definitely shows in your course. And I know you touched on it a bit in this question, but could you just tell us a little bit more about why there is a need for these two courses, for Digital Pedagogies and Thesis Lab?
Well, there's a huge need for a course that helps lecturers, teachers, trainers teach in an effective way. You see, what's happened is we have switched from, and largely as a result of what's happened recently with COVID, we've switched from a traditional way of teaching, and all of a sudden we're much more in the Zoom era, we're much more in the online era, and even in the classrooms there is much more of the blended teaching happening, where the technology and the face-to-face are coming together. But what we've tended to do is we've tended to simply copy the old approaches and paste them into the new digital age. I call this silicon coating, or I call it the copy paste mistake. We take in what we always did. So maybe we had a blackboard, it now becomes a smart board. Maybe we had textbooks, they now become ebooks. Maybe we had teachers, and now they're just YouTube or Zoom. But that misses the point. That misses the opportunity. That misses the key element that is needed when it comes to teaching with technology. The research points out that there are three critical things that are needed when we are going to use technology for teaching. The first is obviously good technology, and we've got plenty of that. The second are good instructors, and there are many great instructors. But the third, and the one that is mostly missing, and the research supports this, is engagement. Without engagement, we don't make the connection using these digital channels with our students. And so there was an important need to try and develop an approach that educators could use that was easy to apply. And that's what the Active Digital Pedagogies course is all about. Now, equally, we want to then take these approaches and apply them to learning situations. And so we developed Thesis Lab. And Thesis Lab was exactly that. It's a space not purely to learn, but to interact with the content, to build a draft thesis, to take all of these incredible pedagogies that activate the student, from curation to having conversations, to creating content, to getting involved in the correction as a learning cycle, to take all of these and build them into a teaching experience that would enable the students to not only find their learning to be effective, but actually to be really enjoyable too.
Thanks, Craig. And I know we always say that things are changing in this post-COVID world, but they really are, and we can't just copy and paste. So thanks for giving us some more information on why there is a need for your course. And I think this leads me on to my next point, is that there's so many courses out there. I mean, there's thousands of online courses, and you've touched on the uniqueness of your course a little bit in the last question, but what makes your course stand out for the rest? Why is it unique? What is this unique selling point you have?
The Active Digital Pedagogies course is like no other course for a couple of reasons. The first is it is all about a set of digital age pedagogies, the active connected teaching approach, that has never been seen before. But what's so exciting is it's really simple. But here's what makes it unique. You see, it's all very well to teach people things. It's all very well to teach people about instructional design, or teach people about the theories of education. But the key comes in, and the trick comes in, demonstrating those while the learners are learning them. And so in the Active Digital Pedagogies course, not only do educators learn about these pedagogies, but they experience them while they are learning them. So when they're learning about curation and how powerful that is as an active pedagogy, they experience the power of curation. And when they're learning about the pedagogy of conversation, they don't only understand the theory of it, they experience the power of it. And this course is therefore like no other. It's a course that is totally activated, where these pedagogies are built into the course, so that the learning experience is one, like when it comes to, if you want to teach someone to fish, you're going to feed them for a lifetime. It's an experience where they experience the fishing, so that their education approach is changed for a lifetime. When we look at the Thesis Lab course, there are many courses on research. There's many great text on research, but they tend to be based on consumption. The student reads something, the student watches something, and this has been shown to be very ineffective. It's passive consumption. The research is very clear. Active learning totally changes how students take on course content. It has huge impacts on recall and understanding. And so the Thesis Lab course is not just a course that communicates content. It allows the students to experience the learning. So when they're learning, for example, about qualitative coding, that they don't only learn about it, they can try it. Or when they learn about the importance of keeping a research journal, they get to actually try it and get some input on whether that is good or bad and how they're starting to do their thinking. And so every element, even when they're trying to understand how do you craft a research question to guide your research, they get an opportunity to build a research question and have that assessed. And so Thesis Lab is an active experience. It's not even just a course, it's an experience. And that's what makes it totally unique.
Thanks, Craig. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this who have written a thesis and wish that they had Thesis Lab when they were going through that process. So thanks for that. And I know several people, I mean, you have had quite a lot of people already do your digital pedagogies course. So do you mind just elaborating on the impact that your course has had on people so far?
The Active Digital Pedagogies course has been around for several years now, and it has been used by teachers, it's been used by universities, it's been used by corporate trainers all around the world. And it's exciting to see the impact. How do you measure impact? You measure impact when you get reviews back from teachers who are, their eyes are glowing. I remember one of the teachers saying, in the 25 years that I've been teaching, I have never experienced something like this that I can now bring into my classroom. That's the impact. The impact is in the lives of the teachers. The impact is in the lives of the students who those teachers then impact. And what's so exciting is to see something that really is simple. And that's the key, because there are many approaches to teaching that people can try and take on board. But at the end of the day, they're often too difficult to implement, and then they just don't get implemented. And the impact of this has been huge on students and on teachers and on lecturers and on trainers around the world. And you see it in their engagement and their new approaches, because this is not just simply a tweak. This is a paradigm shift. And that's the shift we need, because we've entered into a new era of teaching and learning. We need to make a paradigm shift where all of a sudden the educator is not necessarily the sage on the stage, but it's more the guide on the side. And this approach enables us to make that shift in an exciting and simple, but very powerful way.
Thanks, Craig, for answering these questions and giving us more insight into your courses. And I really think these courses will have an amazing impact on all who take them. So thank you so much for your time. And just to end off a fun little question, besides your courses and your background, could you just give us a fun little interesting fact about Craig Blewett, just to end off, a fun little thing to end off? Thanks.
As much as I am an academic, and I enjoy the research part and I enjoy the teaching part, I'm also an avid adventurer and explorer and person who likes to get out there. And so as a result, I've written books, like a book called Touch Life, was trying to encourage people to do crazy things, swim in cold water or do anything that's mad. And as a result, myself and my wife, we've run 10 Comrades Marathon, which is an ultra marathon of 90 kilometers. We've run multiple other huge events. We get in all of that, in all these huge ultra marathons and marathons that we run, we're just ordinary, simple people. And we have this singular philosophy that we want to enjoy it. We want to have fun. And I think that philosophy is so important. It's a philosophy of living life to the full, which really is the mantra that I like. And so whether it comes to teaching, to education, I want it to be to the full. I want it to be inspiring. I want people to enjoy the experience, but so too with everyday life, because life is more than just what we do for work. Life is going out there, hiking the mountains, swimming in the cold rivers, running those crazy distances, not just for reaching those targets, but for the journey that you're on, for experiencing life to the full. And so I suppose maybe that's the surprising part, that I keep trying to surprise myself by pushing the boundaries of what's possible, but all the time doing it because it's inspiring and helping me live my life to the full.